Nobody likes having to grind for hours on end just to make their guns good. And while I think a lot of COD players like having a to-do list in the multiplayer, it can also be frustrating to get a gun to level 15 or 20 just to make it good. But I would argue that an even worse feeling is starting a new COD multiplayer and being stuck with guns that were so bad that you might as well have used a melee weapon until you unlock something better. Welcome to the channel, everybody. Jimmy or Chaos. Welcome back to the COD History Series. Today, we're going the opposite way. The other day, we put up the 10 best level 1 guns in COD history. Today, we're going to do an updated list of the 10 absolute worst level 1 guns in COD history. These are the guns that were unlocked by default, but nobody used it. They were just junk. They were terrible. Wouldn't get you anywhere in your level grind. So you let me know which of these you think was the worst. Drop a like on the video. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything. Before we move on, guys, we're giving away a PS5 at 2.8 million subs. That's right. Somebody on this channel that watches these videos is going to win a PS5. It's simple to enter. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you like this video. Comment your Twitter handle. That's important because if you win, I have to be able to get hold of you and follow me over on Twitter. The details are the top pinned comment on the video, and there's a bonus entry in those details as well. Good luck. Number 10, the Model 680 in Modern Warfare 2019. Shotguns in the rebooted Modern Warfare trilogy have a tendency to be annoying. A lot of them had insane stopping power and a ton of amazing attachments to make the fire rate higher, the mobility quicker, even both. But the Model 680, your starting shotgun, it was a piece of garbage. Nobody used. Pump action shoddy, painfully slow fire rate, super inconsistent damage, and not nearly as many cool attachments as the other shotguns in the game. Why? If you got a hit marker with the Model, the enemy was almost certainly going to kill you before you could finish them off, and it was easily the worst weapon in its class. It looked cool. It sounded cool. It was satisfying to actually get a one-shot kill with, but how often did that happen? Not nearly enough. Level 1. At number 9, the Scorpion in COD 4. Now, whenever I talk crap about this gun, there's always a few people in the comments that tell me I was not using it right or that it was better than I give it credit for. But even if you think this gun was underrated, you have to admit to you and me, it was probably the worst starting gun in COD 4. Relatively low rate of fire, no recoil, which is good, but it also had a 20-round mag and no extended mags and extremely low damage, often taking 3 to 5 shots to kill somebody. Plus, the reload animation was super long. You could not cancel it early like most other guns in COD, meaning you were locked into it every time you hit the fire button. And you'd be hitting that button a whole lot if you were actually trying to run this thing. I know, it wasn't the worst gun ever. Probably had some cheesy playstyles, but if we're talking about the worst starting guns in COD history, it fits the bill. It was the worst SMG in the game. There's no way that it would help you level up quickly. At number 8, the PDW-57 in Black Ops 2. It always pains me a little bit to put anything from Black Ops 2 on a worst list, but here it is. Most of you probably remember the PDW as a dinky marshmallow shooter with horrible recoil that was undeniably bottom tier, and it's true. But the thing that really hurts is the fact that I remember what this gun was for the first 2 weeks before the infamous nerf. There was a time when the PDW was one of the best SMGs in COD history. You heard me right. It was accurate, solid damage, huge magazine. It was like a middle ground between the classic P90 and the Modern Warfare 3 MP7. Was it OP? Probably. I agree. It probably needed a nerf from the original version, but Treyarch went way too far. They turned it into a gun that was so bad it ended up belonging on this list today. Black Ops 2 had really good gun balance, all things considered. There wasn't really anything that was overpowered. I say that with a smile. But there's certainly a couple underpowered guns, and the Nerf PDW was one of them. At number 7, the AUG in Modern Warfare 2019. The AUG, it's a chameleon. It's had so many different kinds of weapons. LMG, full auto rifle, burst rifle, SMG. The 2019 version was an SMG, and frankly, it sucked. I get that IW wanted this to be the gun that really showed off how versatile the AUG could be. That also meant you had to sacrifice damage in order to get a bunch of cool attachments, and even after you kitted it out, it wasn't great. Time to kill was horrible compared to other SMGs, even though it was versatile. It didn't fit any role particularly well. So yeah, you could turn the AUG into a long-range rifle, but it's not like it was a good long-range rifle. And sure, you could get the AUG for close range and aggression, but it wasn't a good close-range gun. I'm honestly not sure what the point of the gun was. It just exists. Nobody liked it. Nobody used it once they finished the camo challenges. And we move on. But before we do, I know there's going to be comments. You just didn't kid it out, right, Jimmy? It was a monster. At number 6, the USP-45 in Modern Warfare 3, 2011. Now, I know this one is a little unfair because it was a handgun, not really intended to be a powerful choice for Call of Duty multiplayer, but at the same time, it was bad even by handgun standards. Starting pistol in Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer. Damage, standard. 2 fatal flaws, though. First, the view kick. way higher than other pistols, meaning it was a lot harder to hit consistent shots, which was essential since the damage was so low. Secondly, the USP-45 had a fire rate cap of 759 rounds per minute, while the other handguns were capped at well over 1,000. Yes, most people can't actually pull the trigger on their controller fast enough to hit the fire rate caps, but I'm sure a lot of you can remember moments when the USP felt like your trigger finger was being held back in a way that the other pistols weren't. Again, it was never meant to be awesome. It was always intended to be a last resort weapon, but even by last resort standards, it was extremely weak and hands down the worst sidearm in the game. Literally every other secondary was a better choice in this game. Now we crack into the top 5. The USP-45 again in Modern Warfare 2 2009. May have been useless in Modern Warfare 3, but it's still somehow better than the 2009 version, which honestly might have been the worst handgun in COD history. I don't know. I know the ASP is there too. The 2009 USP-45, dinky little handgun, somehow had to stand up to other secondaries like the Spaz, the M93 Raffica, the Rangers, the Model 1887, the Desert Eagle. I can go on all day. Heck, even compared to other level 1 secondaries, it was useless. Just as a refresher, the other starting secondary weapons in Modern Warfare 2 were the Spaz, the AT-4, and the PP-2000. The USP quite literally had no purpose in the game. If you used it, I really don't know what you were doing. At number 4, the Carabin in COD World War II. Sniping in COD World War II was super popular thanks to the amazing bolt actions, the Lee Enfield, the CAR, but the starting sniper, this one, nah. Semi-auto sniper, hefty recoil, would require you to hit your target twice before dropping them. Yes, headshots will be a one-shot kill, but COD World War II played pretty quickly, so getting consistent headshots was a tall order. Plus, the other starting sniper rifle was a Lee Enfield. Same magazine size, but the one-shot kill to the body was there, and the head. And despite being a bolt, the fire rate really wasn't much slower than this one. Might be harsh to call it one of the worst starting weapons in COD history, but I honestly think it was. It was a bad sniper for COD World War II, and the other starting sniper rifle outclassed it basically every which way, so why would you ever use it? You wouldn't. Now we arrive at the top 3. The FHR-40 in Infinite Warfare. This was supposed to be a futuristic P90. It looked cool, but honestly it was a pretty terrible weapon. It was a fast-firing SMG with a big magazine and low damage per shot. But then it also had horrible recoil, so it was really hard to stay on target. And when I say this was a low-damage SMG, I mean it. The FHR would hit for as low as 16 damage. So you'd have to hit your target 4 to 6 times to drop them. And even though the fire rate was high, it wasn't nearly high enough to justify requiring that many shots. And of course, using a bullet hose like this meant you were constantly reloading. That reload animation wasn't quick. Wasn't super long, but it would get you in trouble. It sucked. And it was an insult to the legacy of the P90. At number 2, the M16A4 in Modern Warfare 3 2011. Now, the M16 is usually a pretty consistent weapon and certainly one of the most iconic rifles in COD history. 3-round burst, solid damage, good accuracy, right? Easy formula for success, right? Well, unfortunately, this version was one of the worst guns in the entire Modern Warfare sub-series. I'm not really sure how it happened, but it did. The 2011 M16 was bouncy. It was inconsistent. Often required 2 to 3 bursts to drop a single enemy, all while frequently getting off target and making you wait an eternity between those bursts. Infinity Ward has a history of making some insane burst weapons, but for some reason, they didn't do it with this. Maybe they were trying to avoid another COD 4 M16 situation, but even still, this was too far in the opposite direction. Now we arrive at number 1. The worst level 1 gun in COD history belongs to the MP5 in Modern Warfare 3 2011. The MP5 has gotten a lot of attention over the last few years for being amazing in multiple games in a row. The Modern Warfare 2019 version, great. Black Ops Cold War version, great. Modern Warfare 2 and 3 versions, great. But if you go all the way back to the original MW3, it was arguably the worst gun in the game. The 2011 MP5 was so useless that a lot of people forgot it was in the game at all. And there was probably some of you that put hundreds of hours into the game and literally never used it because it was that bad. Recoil, terrible. Damage, terrible. Magazine, smallest in the SMG class. Muzzle flash, really bright, so it was basically impossible to use while aiming down sights. And the range drop-off was so bad that it would take 5 to 6 shots to kill somebody at medium range, which is embarrassing for an SMG in any Call of Duty, let alone Modern Warfare 3, where things were supposed to be able to compete with the MP7, the MP9, the PB90, the UMP45. Yeah, hands down the worst MP5 in COD history, and it was level 1. I think it's the worst starting weapon in any Call of Duty multiplayer. It was useless, and if you used it, well, you know. Okay, yeah, anyway. I hope you guys have a great day. Let me know one that we forgot, and I'll see you soon.